Okay guys, welcome back to another Piranha Motorsports YouTube video. Today we have got the announcement of our new project. So it's a project that we've had kicking around for a while, but given the, I suppose, newly given out details of this challenge, we thought this car fits the bill perfectly. It's, yes, like I said, a car we've had for a little while, but it's going to be exciting. We were actually going to do the work to the car ourselves anyway, but because this challenge has come up, we figure what a perfect opportunity to be able to get stuck into it early and have a crack. I think we can do it. Dad thinks we can do it, and it's a really good platform to be able to do what we want to be able to do with it. So let's have a look. Okay, this is our 1997 VS 5 litre S-Pack automatic ute. Keen eyes will know those wheels are off of manged up. We borrowed them because the tyres on this one were not quite that flash. Manged up's not being used at the moment, so we borrowed them. And it looks a lot better than the Steelies. I've already just given it a quick little... The paint's terrible, guys, like absolutely shocking. It did have grey patches, which you'll probably seen in a couple of the photos already. We rattle canned them black. Yesterday I wet sand and polished the roof to get it somewhat not so bad. Paint's peeling clear. It was a gas converted ute, so Dad's already pre-stripped out that, and the dickheads put the gas filler in here. Dad's already patched that up. Yeah, so it is quite a nice, clean ute. It's actually not that bad in the way of damage. There's a few little pin dents and stuff here, a few little ripples, but nothing major. But it fundamentally is quite a nice VS 5 litre standard ute with a 3-inch exhaust system on it. That's pretty much it. Like nothing else. 308 diff. Which brings us to what we're going to be doing with this car. I alluded the other day in our video, for those that have watched it, and I know some of you have because you've already commented and trying to figure out what we're actually doing with the car. It is not a burnout car. It never will be a burnout car. We are actually going to do the 12s for $2,000 challenge that Scotty from Scotty's Garage and Carnage Street Machine is got the challenge of doing. Now, 12s for 2K, we've already had a little bit of look into the rules and regulations that he's sat down and had his video the other day released on YouTube, which has given out most of the details. It is $2,000 to spend on the car to get it to do 12 seconds, quarter mile. Now, if you have to purchase the car, that doesn't come out of the $2,000. However, you have another $2,000 to buy the car with. Now, you might say this is not a $2,000 car. Now, you're right. However, when we bought this car, it was $1,300 licensed, not running. So that was a few years ago, but it is a $1,300 car that came with a few little bits and pieces with it that we haven't used. I'll run through those shortly. We've got a whole heap of parts that we're going to be able to throw at it, which I'll also run through shortly. But it is a 5-litre VS ute that we paid $1,300 registered, not running. Now, we didn't actually have to spend any money on the car in order to get it running. All we did was
fix the coil wires.
All it was a coil wire on the distributor. That was all it was. The reason why it wasn't running. From the coil. Oh, that's right. It was on the coil, not the distributor.
Plug to the coil from the ignition.
That's right.
Was bloody the inside the plug. The earth wire was broken.
That's all it was. And then it fired straight into life. Sits there and runs beautifully. It's actually a really clean 5-litre. So I'll pop the bonnet in a second. We'll go through that. We'll have a quick look at the interior, and then we'll get on to what parts we've got that's going to try and make this thing go 12s. Now 12s is quite quick, very quick, but with these parts and the right platform, I think we can get it to go there. I mean, it only has to be a 1299.999999 recurring, so and that's it for 12s. If it doesn't do a 12, am I going to be worried about it? Absolutely not, because it's just about the journey and having some fun, but I think we can get there. Let's have a look, see what we got. Okay, here we have it. This is the beast that's going to do 12-second quarter mile. Obviously, there's going to need to be quite a few changes from where it currently is in order to be able to get it there. As you can see, very much stock. Nothing has changed. The factory clutch fan, the factory air intake, factory manifold. We'll start it up shortly. It is dead stock. It's got some leads on it. Apart from that, keen eyes that are VS fans know, it is stock as a rock under here. That is going to have to change though. It did come with a set of pacemaker extractors. Now they've been cut off down the bottom. They were in the car when we bought it. The guy had picked them up. He was going to do the car up and then never actually did it, I think. Didn't he do the gearbox? Is this the one he did the gearbox in or something? Don't know. Anyway, he was going to put the extractors on and he never got around to putting them, but he threw them in the car when we bought the car. The car was only worth probably the $1,300 roughly back when we bought it. In all seriousness, it's only since then the value of the car's gone up a long way. So it comes with a set of pacemaker extractors that we are just going to blend into the factory wire piece, because it doesn't even have the wire piece, and use the 3-inch system that's already on it. It's just a straight through 3-inch system that's been on there for donkey's years. It's not something I'd run on the street permanently, but for trying to keep the car underneath the $2,000 budget and not blow it to pieces, considering we've got more important things, I think the 3-inch will do fine. Maybe you'll do a cat delete or something on it, or something like that, perhaps, since it's going to be a drag car, not a street car. And then, look, it's even S-Pack. It's cruise control. It has,
It's got electric windows.
yeah, we'll go inside. We picked up a set of Statesman seats and door cards. These door cards were manged up for the tour, but we've taken them back out and put them here. These seats actually came out of a wrecked VS Statesman that the guy had only done 20,000 Ks in it, and he let his missus drive the car, and she wrote the car off and he wrecked it out. So these seats have literally done 20,000 kilometres. They are like brand new. They could do with probably a bit of a clean because they've been sitting for a long time. It is electric windows, cruise control, hood lining's been done at some stage. It has, oh, look at this, an Alpine CD player. And not a factory 21,000 kilometres. The speedo was broken when we first got it, and as most of the VS's have. So Dad repaired it, or repaired another one that we had that was low kilometres, and we just chucked that in. So it has had a cluster change, but I mean, it doesn't have no manuals or nothing anyway. So we haven't wound back the clock. It's the one we had, but it was not the one off the car because the one off the car was broken. But we're keeping the car anyway, so we're not selling it, saying that it's got 20,000 kilometres, because it clearly doesn't. Have a look at the outside of the car. Paint job we are not worried about at all. Like, not a single thing. I will keep putting layers of polish on until it glides through the air a little bit quicker, but that's about as good as it's going to get for now, because it is not on the worry list at all. So that's pretty much it for in here. It does the job, and it will do perfectly fine. Now, of course, a lot of the videos, like Scotty's just released one of him stripping his AU Falcon out of all the weight that he can get rid of it, but there ain't much weight in this thing. Like, and it is registered, and I'd like to keep it for street duties. So I'm not taking the carpet out. I mean, what are we going to gain? 30 kilos worth of carpet, door cards, and underlay. Like, seriously, I'm not even worried about it. It's neither here nor there. If the car's going to do 12, it's not going to do it because we'll drop 30 kilos. If it was a sedan, on the other hand, and it wasn't a factory S-Pack 5-litre ute, I would probably consider about stripping some weight out of it. But since it's exactly what I said it was, I'm not exactly too keen on butchering it in order to be able to get it to go down the quarter mile quicker. We will do what we have to do in order to make that happen, though. Alright, let's have a squeeze at what we do have in the way of parts that are going to try and get this thing to go, and we'll run through how much money is already in these parts. Some of them I picked up quite some time ago for projects that we were going to build but haven't used them, or we were going to use them on this car and just haven't done it yet. So we'll grab all of that stuff, I'll bring it out here and we'll go through it, and you can see what we've got, and you can make your own mind up if you think it's going to be able to do 12. But the only thing I know that we are going to have to change is the diff gears that we don't have. So if anybody has some cheap VS diff gears out there of a better ratio than 308, then they won't fit in this car, Dad.
3.7.
The 3.7s will not fit in this car.
Oh, okay.
Then hit us up, because I might be keen, especially if they're cheap, or at least you say they're going to be cheap and then charge me more. But different. No, that's not the way. That's not the way it works. But yes, if you got something, hit us up, because I'm definitely going to need diff gears, even if it's just the 345 or whatever it is that comes out in the 346 that comes out with the manuals or whatever. But people want like drug money for these things, and I can buy the diff gears straight off of eBay for $450 with a mini spool for a set. So let's be serious about this. I'm happy to build the diff myself, but if someone's already got one that's got the diff gears in it, I'm happy to go down the path of buying them, but I'm not going to do myself out of money when I've got a really tight budget, $2,000 to spend. All right, let's have a look at these parts. Okay, gathered it all up. Let's have a look, see what we got. I know that there's more bits and pieces, but these are the main parts that are going to help us get to where we want to get to. So, first up, this is a Turbo 700, no lockup, 2200 stall converter. Do we really need bigger? Yes. Do I have bigger? No. Did I pay $200 for that? Yes. So, check. Roller rockers, adjustable. They're adjustable for a reason, because that there is a camshaft. That camshaft is a solid flat tappet camshaft to suit these roller rockers. The roller rockers, I think, were, I can't remember, I'd have to go back and have a look at my list. I think they were about $300, $299 I think they were. Camshaft was about $250. In this box here, that is a thermofan wiring kit to replace the factory clutch fan with thermofans from a newer Commodore or a Falcon or whatever is we choose to fit. We have done it before on a VS and used Commodore fans off of like a VT, which worked really well with that kit. It's like $12 off eBay. In this box here, very dirty box. Everything needs to be cleaned because it is second-hand parts. Solid lifters, head bolts, timing chain, sprockets, and valve springs to suit camshaft, said camshaft. So this box came with a set of heads that we bought. The guy threw them in. Now, if we really want to put a money figure on it, obviously there's a lot of money's worth in there to buy valve springs and but they're all second hand. So I don't know whether we call that a couple $100 for the box. I don't know, but I'm not going to say that's worth a lot of money because yes, I need it to be able to make the rest of this stuff work, but I got them thrown in with the heads, and the heads were worth more than what I paid for the whole lot of them, so really they were free. But anyway, we can get to that later on, the nitty gritty. Cool, heads. These are a set of heads that we picked up from Kwinana Performance. These were actually off of their personal drag car. They've been ported a bit, and then they have had the bigger valves put in. They're not 2.02s, they're actually 2.08s. And the oversized exhaust valve, I can't remember what they were, I think 1.6, I think, aren't they? Yeah, so they've got, yeah, but anyway, they're the bigger intake valves. And then they've also been drilled. Yeah, all new guides have already been done when we got them. The heads had already got good guides in them. We actually paid $200 for the heads. Now, you wouldn't believe that, but they were $200 for the heads. And then I spent another $200 on them buying valves and bits and pieces for them. So that makes them like $400 worth of heads. They will complement the camshaft very, very nicely. Porter, they've also been drilled to suit 1/2-inch head studs and a couple other bits and pieces which we probably won't use on this particular build this time. We're not running boost. They were originally had boost through them, I'm pretty sure. So, and then of course, to be able to make that all work, that there looks like a normal banana manifold. However, it is actually a star manifold. So it has the star manifold neck already attached with the 90mm throttle body. We picked that up for I think $300 off of Facebook Marketplace years ago. It was just so cheap, and it was not far from where we were living, so we just grabbed it anyway, because I'm not even sure the guy knew what he had, but it was just one of those things where you just grab it just because. So, and it also come with a tuned Memkel to suit, yes, a 355 stroker, which shouldn't be too much, but it had a decent sized cam in it and a few other bits and pieces. So that Memkel should be a good little starter to be able to at least start the car once it has this combination in it, and get it run in, and then put it on the trailer and take it down and get it tuned afterwards. So this here, 4,7,000, 13, 14, so there's probably $1,500 worth of parts just here. So that gives us a $1,500 budget. Well, we've got $500 more to be able to spend on the car. Luckily, like I said, we've got the extractors already. Now with the rules, Scotty's already said brakes, suspension components, as long as obviously I'm going to say that's a little bit flexible there, because if you're going to go out and spend mega dollars on a full suspension like rear 4-link and all that sort of shit, that can't be classed as part of it. So I'm talking maintenance. So if it needs a new set of shocks, or it needs some bushes or bearings or rubbers or something throughout the suspension, you shouldn't need to be coming out of the budget. So that shouldn't. Brakes don't. Anything safety doesn't. So if you want to put a roll cage in, that's on you. You don't have to worry about it. It's not part of the budget. Racing seats and all that sort of stuff. If you want to go that path, but for a 12-second car, you shouldn't have to. But if you want to go down that path, then it doesn't come out of your 2K. Your 2K is just getting the car to go fast enough. So if I decided I wanted to turbo this bloody thing, I got $500 from here to do it. Or if I wanted to keep it dead stock and just whack a turbo on it, I got $2,000 to be able to spend to try and make it go 12 seconds with a Chinese wolf whistle thingy me bobby doover wacky. Yeah, so this is where we're at. We've got roughly $1,500 already spent. We've got the car bought. It needs a few bit more bits and pieces. Obviously, stall's got to go in, so motor's got to come out. When motor comes out, we're going to go through rings and bearings. I mean, they are just that's not to make it go faster. That is literally just for peace of mind. I'm going to do that, and that is not going to come out. I'm not going to take that out of the budget. And if someone has a problem with that, then take me out of it's not even a competition. So I'm just joining in. We're just joining in because we want to have a bit of fun and join in with the competition. So, I mean, and in the end, they're running it on the East Coast and we're in WA. So the likelihood of us getting anywhere in it anyway is not going to really be there, neither here nor there. And we can't exactly drop down to the Motorplex and do whoop-ass Wednesdays every week just to test the car and get faster and faster. Also tyres. Tyres do not come into the budget. So if you want to run full slicks, or semi-slicks or street tyres or whatever, that's on you. You don't have to worry about that. If you want to spend the extra money and go full slicks and break every single thing on the entire car, well then you go for it. But we'll probably pick up a set of semi-slicks from our tyre supplier, and unless someone wants to sponsor us a set of semi-slicks, or anyone wants to sponsor anything, and go for it. We'll probably just run those and go from there. So yeah, I hope everybody's going to be excited about this build. It's going to be fun. We've got a few months to be able to get it sorted. We've got most of the things. The only thing we don't is rings and bearings. I have got some core plugs, a brand new set of core plugs. So we've got some head gaskets. We've got most of the engine gaskets already just kicking around, parts left over from the Tirana days. So we should be able to piece together what should be a fairly stock bottom end with obviously bolt-on parts and not big enough store converter that we'll have to do. Yeah, so we'll go with that, and hopefully you want to follow along as we go on this build. It should be a bit of fun and something different that's not burnout content created, and maybe it'll get a few extra of you guys clicking on that subscribe button that already haven't done to this date. And if you haven't yet, please go down there and click on it, because we clicked up our 100 subscribers the other day for the first time, and I would love to be able to keep that climbing up to that 1,000 mark and get that done soon. Well, thanks very much for watching, guys. It's been good as always, and you are going to see a VS 5-litre ute on the channel a little bit more often, as well as in honours. We just put the in honour video out, so you're going to see plenty more of that, and we're going to have to get manged up, sorted out with a repair on a quarter panel in the next little while too. So, and some new stickers. All right, thanks very much for watching. We'll see you on the next video. See you later.